Wait, ooh, ooh. Oh, we're on video. Hey! Hi guys, it's Nikki and I am just coming to you with a little tip video. I am finally starting to feel better and over the cold that was plaguing my family and I. Finally, after many weeks. Finally, some relief. Anyways, sorry for the shortage of videos lately. It's just like I said, been dealing with that a lot. Anyhow, I thought it would be a really good time to do a video talking about some tips and tricks to stay motivated and stay positive and on the right track when you're starting, well, I don't know, basically any kind of journey, but mostly health and fitness. Because there are so many people who are just now starting out, or they're working on their fitness, or they're working on their nutrition, or maybe they're doing a little bit of both. And for me, I was one of those people that had a really hard time sticking to anything when I would try it. I'm one of those people, I will start a project and never finish it. Ever. I'll just abandon that shit. But anyways, I just figured, like I said, so many people are just now starting, and this is an excellent time. Or maybe even if you're not just starting out and you're in the middle, just if you're anywhere where you're at this point where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Or, oops, I had a whole cake. Hopefully you didn't, but you get my drift. If you screwed up, you might want to quit. And you'll do anything to talk yourself out of keep going. And so over time, I found some things that they keep me going and they keep pushing me even when I want to quit or when I want to make excuses and say I don't want to do it anymore. So the big thing for me, the very first thing that before I really started talking to anybody, this was before I had a coach that I talked to, or really wasn't even talking to other people about what I was doing, because when I first started out, I was really shy about it. I was embarrassed. I took pictures, but I didn't share them with anyone. And I feel like my hair is super wonky. Is it? Did I just make it worse? I don't care. Anyways, when I first started, like I said, I was very shy. I didn't really talk to anybody about what I was doing. I didn't tell anybody what I weighed. I didn't share my measurements. I was just very to myself about it. And I don't know, keeping it to myself, I guess if you're first starting out and you are embarrassed, that's okay. But when you put it out there to the world, where you are, now somebody knows. So if you go off track and you stop doing it, they might ask you, so how much weight have you lost? And you'll be like, well, you know what I mean? So if somebody knows where you're at and where you want to go, it's going to make it easier to be held accountable. So it's always really good to share your story wherever you're at. And don't worry about anybody hating on you, because truthfully, in the 2 years that I've done this, I've had nothing but support. I don't think anybody has really said anything negative or against me except for maybe one time. And that was just a family member who really just, I don't think they thought before they spoke. And I didn't really let it get to me, because I was like, you know what? All in due time. Whatever. Just water off a duck's back, let it roll off. So that's my first tip, is share your journey with someone that you trust. Someone who is going to uplift you. And, for me, I've just basically gotten to a point, I think it was about a year and 3 months ago, where I just made my first YouTube video about it and put it up there. And I don't think anybody has ever said anything negative against me at all on YouTube. And I'm sure that eventually it will happen, but I'm not worried about it, because you know what? Go ahead. If you have something negative to say it, because that's not going to affect me. I am not a negative person, and you know, it's hard sometimes when you're around negative people, but just whatever. Don't let people's comments get to you. So share your story and don't let the negative Nancys or anybody like that drag you down. The second thing is, this kind of goes along with the first one. Surround yourself with like-minded people. And if you don't have any, just give it time. Other people will start. You could be the catalyst to change in so many people's lives if you just share it with them. You don't have to ask them to start. You could encourage it, but you don't have to force it. You know, you can just say, hey, I would really like it if you do this with me. And they might start with you. But then there's always options, like with people like me who are already on our journeys. You can reach out to us, you know, through YouTube, through Facebook, through Twitter, Instagram. There are so many people out there who are on these journeys who will happily talk to you. And I am one of those annoying people who, if you message me, I will so message you back, because that's just what I do. I talk to people and I try to encourage them. So that's number 2. Like-minded people. Share your story is number 1. Like-minded people is number 2. And those two can kind of go hand in hand, because there are so many people out there who will be willing to hold you accountable and have your back and push you when you feel like you don't want to do it anymore. Number 3 is probably maybe one of the most important, and that is take your pictures. Take pictures, because there are some times when you're not going to see the scale change and you're not going to see your measurements change, but when you look at your photos from when you do your stats, you will see the difference visually. That's going to push you. Or when you just feel down and discouraged, period, you can get those out and you can look at them side by side, like from where you started to where you're at. And that's going to be enough motivation right there, just for you. Or at least it has been for me, to like get my old pictures and see them next to my new ones. And I'm like, hey, progress. And record your stats. I do it on Team Beachbody in the, I think it's just like a goals, like a goals tab. I don't remember exactly how you get to it on there, but there is a tab that you can go to, and it's got everything where you can just type it in. And that is available under the free membership. And I will put a link down below so that you can join and utilize that feature. And along with that, recording your stats. I only do my stats once a month. I used to do them weekly, but then I was like, okay, this is a little extreme. I'm not going to do pictures and photos once a week anymore. So I'm down to doing them like once a month, if that. And I only do that because I was driving myself crazy. Like, just, it was not a good thing. So I really backed off on that. But you should do it. And don't always let the scale be your guide, because I'm going to tell you right now, you could see an increase on the scale, and if that's all you're going by, you're going to feel like this is not working. This isn't working. But if you do your inches as well, you will see sometimes that when the scale goes up, your inches go down. When I did Brazil butt lift the first time around, and this was my very first program, I gained 4 pounds. I started at 206 and I went up to 210. But I lost 16 inches. So had I only used the scale, I probably would have felt like a complete failure. If I didn't have my measurements and my photos, I would have given up. I probably would have quit at that point. So it's so important to track your progress. Always, always, always do that. And don't let it go. And if I keep looking, there's like kids out there and they're trying to like watch me record, and it's kind of creepy. But yeah, anyways, the other thing is, I think, what are we on? Number 4? Number 4? Sorry, it's such a distraction. Anyways, tip number 4 is going to be about nutrition. Some people are like, well, I want to exercise, but I'm not such a fan of dieting. And I'm like, well, you can't really out-exercise a bad diet. And I'm going to tell you, I've learned this firsthand, because when I originally started, I would say for like the first year and a half, I think my phone is dying. Yeah, time out. I gotta plug this in. Okay, so for the first like year and a half, I was counting calories, but I wasn't really paying attention to quality of the food I was eating. So I would like, okay, well, I'm going to eat this pizza, and then I'm going to eat this cheeseburger, and then I'm going to exercise, but I'm still going to be under my calories. And I was losing weight, and I was losing inches. But then when I got the 21-day fix, it taught me so much more about like clean eating. And it's not even just clean eating. It was like clean eating along with your portions and like the food types. And it was when I did that, like on the 21-day fix, I'll be honest, I only lost 3 pounds in my 21 days. But I did notice a lot of bloat went away on my body. And I'm pretty sure those pictures are on my Facebook. I think I put those on there. I don't really know, to be honest. I'm not like the most active social media user. And that's another thing. If you're following me on my Facebook like page, I don't really utilize that one too much yet. I mostly do everything on my personal page. So just an FYI, you might just want to like follow me on there or something for now. I mean, the like page, I do use it, just not as much. Anyways, geez. Oh, anyways, my weight loss since I started that whole clean eating thing, I mean, primarily, like, I'm taking a little lackadaisy time right now just because I'm giving my body like a month to just kind of like calm down a little bit, because I've been at it for almost 2 years, and I'm kind of giving myself not like a rest period, but I'm just doing shorter workouts, like 20 minutes, half-hour workouts. And I'm still eating mostly clean, but I'm not really like and mentally I'm tracking, but I'm not literally tracking. And then on November 1st, I'm going to launch back in full throttle, just giving myself like a little reset time so that I can just be like fresh at it, because I'll explain that in a minute. Plateaus and such and whatnot. Anyways, you have to clean up your eating if you want to truly be successful, because like I said, you cannot out-exercise a bad diet. You cannot go home and drink a ton of beer and then exercise it off. You will probably not see results if you think that you can do that. Your body needs proper fuel and nutrition to let go of the fat and the toxins that you're storing. Plain and simple. Eat whole foods, vegetables, fruit. Look for things that are as natural as you possibly can get them, and you will see results. And try to follow the meal plans within reason, or, you know, just clean them up a little bit. Because even the older programs, some of those meal plans aren't so necessarily clean. They're healthy, but they're not clean. So I've really mostly been utilizing the 21-day fix and the paleo eating plan since I got my hands on those 2 programs. And since then, I feel like I've really seen my best possible results. So I kind of, in a way, feel like I spent like a year at a minimum, year and a half, kind of like, I don't know, piddle farting around because I wasn't eating properly. Like, I feel like I could probably already be at my goal had I been eating right. So you only hurt yourself, you know? The next thing is going to be about plateaus. What can you do when you hit a plateau? When you hit a plateau, my favorite person that I've ever heard talk about this is Chalene Johnson. And she says when you hit a plateau, it's because our bodies are basically like machines and they are constantly trying to figure out what we're doing. So if you plateau, it's time to do something different. So whether it is you try a different program or do something, just a different workout for a week, or you take a week off of exercise, or you eliminate a food group for just a week. Don't go crazy with it, but just a week. And that will usually kickstart you. And I have found that that always works for me. Because for me personally, I usually hit a plateau at around 6 weeks of a program. Between the 6 and 8 week mark, which is about the average length of the programs. I find that my weight loss really slows down, and sometimes it even just completely stops. So normally I just push through and finish and start something else, and then it takes right back off. And I'm trying to think if there was anything else that's been really helpful to me. Tracking what you eat, that's another one. Track your food. I'm not saying necessarily count calories. For some people you need to. But if you know, like I said, I don't count calories anymore because I do the whole 21-day fix thing when I do that. Does that make sense? Yeah. If you don't have the 21-day fix, do count your calories and try to follow the meal plans and stay within your ranges. Simply because the programs are designed to have you eating within a certain range that's appropriate for that program. That's why one program might have you eating like 600 calories more than another. They are not universal. At least not within reason. Like, it just depends on the program, the intensity, and so on. So I think that's pretty much all I have for right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me or comment them down below. I will happily answer anything and we'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Like I said, I will post links so that you guys can utilize that tracker on teambeachbody.com. And I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.